So first things first, last Friday, WWE announced and launched the Smackdown World Cup, an eight-man single elimination tournament where the winner faces Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. So I wanted to know, what were your first impressions of the tournament on your behalf, and what does this mean for the Intercontinental Championship?
I think the idea of having a tournament for the Intercontinental Championship, I think, is like a great idea. Makes me happy again because there's focus being placed on the mid cards. Gunther has been doing a great job in this role, um, and I just know that with this tournament, due to the fact they haven't been not maybe momentarily, but over like the past couple of years when it came to the mid cards, like properly setting them up to make them all feel important and feel like individuals. This is going to help like build character for whatever mid card is set up for Gunther. So I love that because um the hardest thing that I noticed that WWE is having like a struggle with is that they tend to like put all their money and effort into one person but then fail to set up the rest of the division. And what I love about a tournament is that it gives everyone a place to shine,
Mm,
whether they lose or not. That's their match. That is their 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to show the world like a little bit about you. And to
yeah.
remind us why you're still here, why you deserve it. So even if you lose, there's some people that like I have seen people, for example, like when they had the women's like Queen of the Ring, for example, they weren't behind people like Tony Storm and stuff like that, but they seen her match and just like, wow, like she's actually pretty good. Never seen her before, but like great wrestler. I actually like her. That's what I love about tournaments. It gives everyone a place to shine, whether you win or lose. And the person that does win, when it's time for them to exchange the titles over, it feels like a powerful moment. It doesn't feel like anyone like lost or failed or that the division is going to collapse because you build everyone around this. Everyone pretty much eats. So I think that it's a great idea. I love it. What do you think is your take on it?
I honestly love it. I think we were talking about like the King of the Ring last week, and we were just talking about tournaments in general, how WWE needs to incentivize tournaments. And I think that this is the perfect, I think this is the perfect way to go about it, right? Like a shot at the Intercontinental title. You've spent months talking about how this is the richest prize in wrestling. You've spent months on putting it as the main event of the shows, using it as, kind of like the championship match in certain pay-per-views that have stolen the show. Like we can't forget about Gunther and Sheamus at Clash at the Castle, the banger that was. And so I think that giving a title like the Intercontinental title a tournament is a way of elevating the prestige of the Intercontinental title. And even from the whole title, SmackDown World Cup, right? Because it's on Fox and Fox hosts the World Cup, this is something that makes sense from a cross promotional standpoint. And then if we look at the participants, you have Braun Strowman, you have Sami Zayn, you have Santos Escobar, you have Jinder Mahal, you have Butch, you have Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Mustafa Ali. Now, obviously, this list of participants has shrunk because last week we saw our first round. I think Braun Strowman beat Jinder. I feel like Santos beat somebody else. I'm not sure off the top of my head. However, if you look at this bracket, it's filled with international stars. You have two guys in the U.S. and everybody else is pretty much an internationally based superstar. So seeing that diversity, seeing kind of like this collection of talent, because none of these guys are scrubs, right? Like Sami Zayn, Santos Escobar, Butch, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Mustafa Ali. A lot of these guys are former champions. A lot of these guys are captivating characters, especially what Sami Zayn is doing with the bloodline right now. So it doesn't feel like it's a tournament that's like reserved for the less important people. You feel like you're getting a high quality, high caliber tournament. And I think that the way that they're kind of going about this is amazing. I'm expecting some amazing matches out of this. Um, and I'm just really, really happy that WWE is bringing back the prestige of tournaments and having to work towards a championship, because I feel like it's a part of character development. And it gives the opportunity for so many characters, win, lose, or draw, to develop their character out of this, especially, like Santos, who's currently involved in this freaking three-way faction feud between Hit Row, Legato, and the Viking Raiders. So I'm really, really eager to see what they're gonna do. But I was gonna say, did you have anything else that you wanted to add? Because you looks like you want to say something.
I actually just wanted to ask who was your pick because I thought Santos was a great idea or Ali. kind of
Mm,
also Sami Zayn, but I think that Santos would like this would be like a great opportunity to like give him spotlight and kind of I guess pamper him the same way they did in NXT because he had like his
mm,
own thing going on. He was in a faction, he was leading the faction, but he had his own thing. And I felt like this would be the perfect opportunity to not quite isolate him, but to just like let it be known that he is the standout. I feel like Zelina, as much as I love her, it's almost like taking over here with the
yeah.
faction just because we already know Zelina. She came in with this great look. She's a great talker and all that stuff. But Elektra was like in the background in NXT. Like she had
Hmm.
her roles, but she was still like in the background as just part of the group. Whereas Zelina has such a presence that it kind of pulls away from him. I think this would be great if he won. But I wanted to know
Mm.
who did you think should win this tournament?
Ooh. So while I love Santos and I feel like he eventually is going to win the Intercontinental Championship because he's just so good, if the plan is for the winner of this tournament to face Gunther, I feel like Ali should win it because Gunther right now is a monster heel, right? Like he's a monster heel. Like, and I feel like Santos is a heel as well. And while a clash of the heels will be interesting, I feel like the match and the story that people are going to sink their teeth into is Ali and Gunther because Gunther is top of his game, held the Intercontinental title for a record setting amount of days. And so I feel like it would just be the best way to go if Ali would win because I feel like having that relatable baby face up against this monster of a heel, I think is something that's going to captivate a lot of people. But what about you? Who is your pick?
It was between Santos. If I had to go in order of those three names I just mentioned, definitely Santos, Ali, and then possibly Sammy. But I still want Sammy more so for the King of the Ring do I than I want for this
Mm,
opportunity. So out of between those two is my main pick because Ali has just been just overdue, man. It's just been overdue. But I
mhm.
just feel like um this is a good opportunity to take someone that's still kind of like a nobody to the main roster and give them a personality and show the world like their work, more in depth because it's more one on one than it would be like the three-way faction thing you're mentioning. He would have his own personality. People could see just how he just operates on his own. So, um, I prefer Santos than Ali, but I love your take on it.
Solid. I think that's it on that. But we want to know what you guys think. Who do you want to win the SmackDown World Cup? Let us know in the comments. But we're moving on.